All right, what is up, everyone? Tried to do this a different way, so hopefully this is working okay. Hope everyone is having a good night. What a weekend so far. My gosh. Who would have thought that Saturday would have yielded such nice moves in prices for some assets across the market? We got a few things we need to talk about, so just kind of wait for everybody to settle in. Let me know how your guys' evening is going so far. Kind of nice to finally see everything that we've been talking about coming together. Great sign. Guess what? It's just Saturday. We're just getting started. What's up, Cracker Man? How are you? What's up, Thomas? Appreciate the support. Appreciate the support. People don't know, but there's a lot of work that goes into what I do. I am scouring charts, fundamentals, everything for hours, trying to figure out what important things that we need to talk about. What's up, David? Welcome to the stream. There was a guy that commented on a video from earlier. He said, so this was about the slingshot building for ADA. Obviously, we've seen ADA price start to do some nice things so far today. He said, look now, 9 hours later. I said, not from the future, I swear. He's like, you look like you're from the 50s. That makes me very unsure of that. Oh, boy. And obviously, guys, I'm just getting over a cold, so I don't know how long this one's going to go today. I'm hoping that my voice decides to cooperate with me. But we'll find out what happens. What is up? Hopefully I'm saying this right. Sieb, hi from Belgium. Welcome to the stream. All right, so we're just going to start diving into stuff. So this weekend, believe it or not, is nothing different from what we've been experiencing as of late, which might sound kind of strange because, if you guys watch me here on the channel or watch my content, we talk about SHIB, ADA, XRP, several others here and there. Unfortunately, I wish I had more time to cover even more assets because that is not even close to the plethora of my holdings. What's up, Flying QE? Appreciate the support. What's up, Conrado? But what people need to understand is that today is no different from any other weekend because it's a low volume weekend, right? $73 billion worth of trading volume over the last 24 hours. That's pretty low. That's about what we've been getting over the course of the prior weekends. So it's nothing from the ordinary. But where things have changed a little bit heading into this weekend is we have had time and time again where we've had opportunities to accumulate, buy the dip, take advantage of these cheap prices. Well, maybe not cheap compared to like a few months ago, but what we've seen now is finally the foot is being planted in the ground across the crypto market, and we are starting to see some movement in price. Now, understand that this is happening for several assets in the space, not all of them. Now, in fact, I think the better way to look at this is probably through CoinMarketCap, because unfortunately on TradingView at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, your new daily candle starts. Let's see. What's up, Toby? Welcome to the stream. So we're seeing over the 24-hour period, some assets do incredibly well. Obviously, XRP just crushing it, up 8% over the last 24 hours. ADA up 7.36%, not far behind. We have Stellar up 6%, SHIB up 2.3%, HBAR up 2.77%. BitGet's had some surprising days and done quite well. Pepe up 1.59%. That's kind of what's taking place amongst the top 20, 25 coins at least. Over the last 24 hours, you can see a very similar trend to what we've been seeing as of late. And that is that these US-based crypto, specifically XRP, ADA, and XLM, Stellar, are the ones that are actually leading the top 100 right now. So that's a very exciting sign. And I think a little bit of what we're seeing right now is what I've alluded to in several videos is this building in excitement heading into the inauguration, which is now less than 9 days away. That's a very exciting thing for the US crypto market. And although the US isn't the only thing, for a country that is, I think, number 3 or number 4 in overall crypto holdings, or at least percentage of people in crypto, that's a pretty big deal. All right. What's up, Richard? How's it going? Hope you're not a Packers fan. Go Vikings. I'm actually a Patriots fan, so we're terrible this year. You guys can't see it, but there's a huge Patriots Super Bowl picture up there. I'll have to show you guys one of these days. But it's pretty sick. My wife got it for me. It's got pictures from each of the Super Bowls. It's got tickets from each of the Super Bowl wins that we have. So pretty cool gift that she got me. But yeah, watching from the sidelines this year, very, very disappointing. But I'll have everybody know, for those that caught my fantasy football updates, I am now the undisputed champion in both my leagues. I won in both leagues. I scored the most points in each of the championships weeks, which is very exciting. And this now marks the third time in 5 years that I've won in this other league. And these aren't some just random schmucks, right? These guys, they know what they're doing, but apparently I just draft better. And it helps when you have Saquon, who just absolutely crushes it, and you pick up Baker Mayfield on waivers. So, all right. So how's BTC dominance? Very good question. It's looking great for alts right now. So this is where we talked about BTC dominance having a really tough time struggling to hold on to this 58% dominance level. And what we've actually seen is almost a 1% dominance shed over the last 24 hours. Look at this red daily candle on BTC dominance. So the thing is now that we're getting closer to this inauguration, yes, it's a very exciting thing for BTC. It's a very exciting thing for, institutional money. I'm sure we're going to see institutional money start to pick up, which I'll get to that in just a moment here. But where this is really exciting is for some of, again, those US based crypto. And what that's going to do is that's really going to try to hammer this BTC dominance down. And in fact, this almost confirmation of a lower high is a very, very big deal. Again, we have to watch and just make sure that we're not playing into an inverse head and shoulders here. If this shoulder turns around, we might see BTC dominance kind of surge a little bit, get back towards that like 59% level. But that's something that may or may not play out. We just have to wait and see. But if excitement continues to build over the weekend, and before I get too far into that, what I really want to point to is actually something we haven't talked about in a little bit, and that is this overall market cap of crypto. So when we look at the last 30 days, you can see a lot of stagnation, right? A lot of sideways trading. So what we're mostly seeing across the crypto market is capital matriculating. So you're seeing people move capital in lateral movements from asset to asset to asset. That's why, we've seen as of late some pumps and then some retracements following that. It's people looking for some profit in the meantime. And why I'm pointing this out is we haven't really seen USDT dominance drop off in a big way yet. But the closer we get to this, I totally lost my train of thought. But where this could get very exciting is if we do start to see some of that parked capital on the sideline start to re-enter the space. That's where you're really going to see this BTC dominance drop, and you're really going to see USDT dominance drop. It's because right now retail has been kind of spooked. If we look back, for example, at the Crypto Fear Greed Index, we're sitting at a 48 right now, which is basically neutral. These are the lowest levels we've seen since October. They're not really excited yet, but yet many of these assets are setting higher floors than what we've seen from October. It's a very, very exciting sign moving forward. All right. Hopefully I wrapped that up. I kind of got off track there. I got lost in my mind. What's up, Russell? Hope everything's going well. What's up, Fergus? Hope your night's going well. It's 2:37 a.m. Sunday morning in Africa. What are you doing awake, man? What's up, Toby? Let's go and watching the playoffs now in crypto. Houston's up 25-12. Oh, so my projections for this Super Bowl, man, maybe this is wrong. This is before Houston started sucking. It was going to be Houston versus Detroit. So we'll see how well this ages, because Houston has not looked that great as of late. A freezing 45 degrees in Houston. Oh my gosh. It hasn't been 45 degrees, above 45 degrees here in Wisconsin for a while. That'd be great right now. Let me see. In your opinion, when do you think it's a good time to sell our bags for profit taking this year? That's a good question. That's actually come up a lot in quite a few of my videos and streams as well. And really what I look at is I look at the macro cycle, right? I look at, where these things tend to peak where they tend to slow down a little bit and where we tend to face a little bit of retracement. And this can be traced actually in the year of the halving. This can be traced in the year of alt season, up only season, right? You always tend to get these cool downs sometime around the spring. All right. Now, obviously, nobody knows when exactly it's going to be, how excessive of a cool down it's going to be. And so, for example, if we look at last market cycle, really around May is when we really started to cool down back in 2021. And this can be traced basically, this is why I keep referencing March through May. Sometime in there is when me personally, I'm going to take a little bit of profit. I'm not going to take a ton. And the reason why is, again, as we get through the summer, as we get through that kind of crap time in the market, the kind of boring time, eventually you get that last leg, which in the back, like 3 months of the year, you see the most aggressive times of adoption in the crypto market that you see in the market cycle. Okay. So that means that, for example, if you guys obviously watch my ADA content or SHIB content or whatever, whichever one it may be, that's when you get these wicks over a very short period of time. For example, ADA running from, down in this $1.20 range all the way up to $3 over the course of a month and a half, less than a month and a half, right? That's what the late cycle brings you. That's why the late cycle is so exciting. Now, what's interesting and maybe a little bit different in this market cycle is I really want people to understand this concept of mass adoption. And many people don't really know what that means for the crypto market, but there's something called a mass adoption curve. And basically where we're at right now is we are the innovators, we are the early adopters, we are here before the masses in the crypto market. And why this is so important is you have to look at how slow this adoption rate is early on. So we're about right here. We're at about 5-6% of the world in crypto. We're not that far into the adoption curve. And if you guys look at how long this range is, and when you really think about it in relation to the crypto market, we're talking about 16 years. The crypto market has existed for 16 years, but we're at 5 to 6% of the world in crypto. But where this is interesting is we're getting adopted faster than the rate of the internet, faster than cell phones. These are really, really big deals. And what that means is that we're set to basically explode into the early majority in this market cycle alone, meaning that right now, we're about to see another 400 million crypto users enter the space that aren't here currently. We have this very tight window where this is going to take place, basically between now and what should be the top, which is October of this year. All right. Now, obviously, this isn't a guarantee. These cycles aren't exactly the same, but from a timeline standpoint, that's when it should happen. Now, where this gets interesting is if we get into mass adoption, which we should, and things start running, there's no telling when or if it will stop. And why I'm saying that is you can actually outpace the dips. You can outpace the profit taking. And that's where things get kind of strange. This may in fact be the cycle to break the cycles. All right. Hold on, I need a drink. You guys can't tell my voice is going, but this may be the cycle to break the 4-year cycle. And maybe it doesn't entirely, but maybe it changes the depths of the dips. Maybe it changes the length of the bear market cycle, right? There's a lot of unknowns as we get into mass adoption because things are going to start happening faster. The capital is going to be bigger. The quantity of people is going to be more, which is a very exciting thing. And basically the biggest thing I have to say is just be happy that you're here now and that you know about crypto, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next one. What's up, Roy? Appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? I was sitting on my couch and I finished up. I'd never seen the movie The Founder. I don't know if anybody else has seen that, but it's a movie about the creation of McDonald's and how McDonald's became big. Very, very good movie. I saw a few clips and I was like, oh, I got to check that out. I really like those documentary type movies. And I really enjoyed it. And I've been playing some actually, what's it called? The PGA Masters Golf. I love golf. And yeah, so I was playing that and I'm like, gosh, prices are running and doing well and we should get on and see if we can talk about price. And, a couple people have alluded to the fact that price tends to run when we do some of these streams. So we'll see what happens. All right, so let's see. Greetings from the UK. What's up, Tom? Hope your night's going well. ADA bags are packed and waiting for liftoff. Well, ADA is looking really, really good right now. We are Continuing this trend that we've been on, we had obviously started our new daily candle at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're about 45 minutes. Yeah, about 45 minutes into this candle, and we're looking really good right now. Nice parabolic run to the upside here. Again, what we're trying to do is we're trying to confirm basically this right shoulder here on this inverse head and shoulders. And gosh, if this plays out, if ADA gets kind of up in this little tight bound range between $1.08 and this downtrend right here, I mean, this you could see a very aggressive pop out of there. That's really what I'm watching for closely. And what's crazy about this is, I obviously talk a lot about fundamentals on the channel. I talk about a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. And the reason why is, we try to identify these moves before they happen. We try to identify the moves before the moves. And, some people get pissed off because they think I'm saying that, oh yeah, if we see this huge removal of supply, or if whales are, buying in excess during this time, that means that price is going to instantly run. That's not how it works, right? The conditions have to be right for the market to make those moves, but then you still need excitement. You still need some sort of buying to really get things going. And that's what we've seen this weekend, right? Again, look at the fact that today is a very, very low volume day, $73 billion. That's chump change compared to what we have been seeing. It's about a third of what we were seeing when the market was actually exciting. But yet we've seen some assets make some significant moves. For example, ADA, daily candle of 7%, XRP, daily candle of, 10%, right? Hopefully that makes sense for people. Shiba Inu, obviously something else I talk about very much here on the channel as well. Only 2.94%, but actually making some nice moves outside of the rest of the meme coin market. That's all very, very good things that are happening. So like, go Browns. Yeah, the Patriots are sure acting like the Browns now. Single top or double top this cycle? I try not to get too much into that, because I don't necessarily believe like we have to have a single top or we have to have a double top or anything like that. Because, when we look at, for example, last market cycle, it wasn't really a double top per se, but we got hit with a huge black swan event that caused us to have a massive retracement in the crypto market. And what it was China banning crypto. It was very, very, very big deal. In fact, I'm sure many people were here during that. Maybe you weren't, maybe you were. I remember seeing my portfolio drop really, really fast. It sucked. But at that time, I added more to my position and I took advantage. And then I really, really did well later on in 2021. And then we look back at market cycles prior. You basically had 2017, where you almost just ran nonstop, doing huge percentage moves. And this is, again, just in terms of BTC, but you didn't really see a double top per se. Even when you rewind back to 2012, 2013, didn't really see a double top there. Yes, you had your peak earlier on in the year, but then you were so far above that peak later on. And where this cycle, I think, is going to get really interesting is, we've seen the early wave of institutional money. Yes, it's brought some of the largest institutional players to the space. And actually, I'm going to pull up what institutional money has been doing lately, because they've kind of sucked as of late. So you have some of the largest institutional players in the space that are already in the market, but you have a lot of institutional players that are going to be launching spot Bitcoin ETFs, spot Ethereum ETFs, and other assets as well that haven't even dove in yet, because they need to wait a certain amount of time per their agreements or whatever before they get their own products launched, right? This was basically the toes in the water before you really see things dive in a big way. That's not even to talk about governments yet, because we know obviously there's huge discussions of government reserves here in the US, in Russia. I can't even remember there was one I just talked about in the video the other day, but you guys get the point. We haven't even seen the start of the really truly exciting things in this market yet. And that's what really has me excited about this move, this path going forward here. Am I drinking tea with honey? No, I am not. I should be, but instead, a beer will have to satisfy. Do I think SHIB will make 302 this spring? Oh, that's actually a really good question. So here's the thing with Shiba Inu. It's loading up. Right now, what you're seeing is the slingshot. It's being pulled back like this. And there's so much tension right here. It's getting ready to blow. It really truly is. And again, we're seeing a lot of the fundamental things working very much in our favor. And I'll go back to some of the data, for example, like I talked about today. We've seen huge accumulation by large entities in the space. Whales keep building their position. We've continued to see this removal of supply from exchanges. And there's always a point where you can only pull back the slingshot so far, right? There's only so much tension you can put in there before you make that explosive move. And when we look at what the trends have been consistently doing, it's consistent accumulation, removal of supply, removal of supply, removal of supply. And like I talked about earlier today, this trend is very much following what it did back in 2023 into 2024. It's almost identical. And so what that means is that sometime in the near term, if it continues to play out this way, if we continue to see the same fundamentals, it's going to be a very aggressive slingshot to the move. It might do more than a 4.5x in 7 days like it did last time. Now, nobody knows for sure, but the target that I've had for this spring is basically somewhere between 4013 and 4019. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Last time I said that was going to be, where did I say we were going to stop? I said right around, 3013, 3019. 3 zeros. Something that we haven't talked about in terms of SHIB before, ever in its history. But back here, we actually talked about it stopping somewhere around 4019, and it did over a 2x above that. So it's tough to say. It's tough to say. There's a lot of things working very much in its favor as of late. Oh, so let's see. I wouldn't wait for a double top. I'll take the first one all the time. Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? Because again, if we get to spring, and here's a weird thing about BTC. Well, not weird. BTC, very aggressive run early on, did some strange historic things, right? We set a new all-time high before the halving. Has never happened before. BTC dominance, breaking its long-term trend line, right? Something it's only breached and then got a hard rejection from before. But when you look at this, basically since July, BTC dominance has been above its long-term trend, which it has never done. So we're seeing some different things there. And what we're seeing kind of now is this big, maybe cool down in terms of BTC. And that doesn't necessarily mean that BTC has to drop, but what you're seeing is a lot of chop. And during the same time, what we're seeing is alts start to take over. The excitement is starting to build around alts now. And this is normally what we see at this time. This is right before things get really exciting in the crypto market. What's up, Lakeside? How's it going, man? Hope your night's going well. What do I think about the Ondo chart? Great question. So actually, if you guys aren't in my Patreon, you guys should definitely check that out. We have a Discord. We're talking all the time. I get access to me, my portfolio, what I'm adding, when I'm buying, when I'm selling, stuff like that. And actually, a few people in there had picked up Ondo, and Ondo has been doing just incredibly well. The narrative is building perfectly, perfect time to launch. It's building right into up only season. I wish, I might be tempted to add some Ondo here. Actually, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. Ondo's been talked about a lot, and it's a true up and comer. It's right now, what is it? Like $2 billion market cap. Might even be less than that. $1.8 billion. This is about that time that I really start looking heavily into lower caps and trying to fill out my portfolio that way. I've done a good job of accumulating my blue chip assets during the bear market cycle, buying them on the cheap. And now, I start looking for some of those assets that can make basically a 10x running into the early part here of 2025. So Ondo is one I would definitely pay attention to. Lot of good buzz around it. A lot of good buzz. Yeah, I like Ondo. All right. What's up, Todd? I scared you when I said 4 zeros. Yeah, my bad. I've been known to do that from time to time. Like I'll say, ADA at a couple $1 million market cap. Whoops. All right. It is at 101 again. Yeah. You know, it is running and doing incredibly well. It's doing incredibly well. All right. What are some current good buys in the market? Bags have been packed for a few months, but still have some funds. Any thoughts? Appreciate the question, Jack. So, uh, you know, I'm kind of looking at lower caps right now for new positions. You know, I've pretty well filled out my positions on again my blue chips, but again, those like $2 billion and lower assets are the ones I'm really looking at. Honestly, I love Fetch. I love what Fetch is doing right now. This is a strong floor being set here. What I'd watch obviously for on Fetch. I don't think this is going to play out this way, but watch for that right shoulder here. That's really what I'd watch for close. But I would not be surprised if Fetch really makes a strong move sometime here. AI, if you guys haven't noticed, AI hasn't really made a resurgence yet. We had kind of a mini AI subcycle, probably what was that? The latter part of November, mid-December, somewhere in there. We saw AI coins go on a massive run, but this AI narrative hasn't really died at all. It's just kind of quiet right now. So AI coins are ones I would really focus on in a big way. I mean, there's a lot of up and comers here. I know I talked about TARS. I did pick up some TARS, guys. TARS is a big one by Solana. Backed by the Solana Foundation. Pretty big deal there. Wouldn't be surprised by this one eclipsing $1 billion market cap sometime in the near future. Obviously, there's no guarantees, but check out AI. There's some up and coming memes. I did pick up some Brett. I do have some Floki too. I love meme coins that have utility, that are actually doing things, especially good things for the world, right? Floki, Brett, humanitarian stuff. It's a big deal. That's a good thing to actually achieve excitement amongst the masses, because you want to have people paying attention to what you're doing before the buying really starts, before the FOMO sets in. When's the 8 alive? Oh, this is an everything live. XRP is going to pass all these. Too much talk. I mean, well, XRP is already number 3. I don't know how XRP is going to pass all these. We might see. This might be an unpopular opinion, but we might see XRP actually flip Ethereum once again in this cycle. That would be something. That would really be something. I don't know. I mean, this new wow, what's it called? Can't remember the name of the upgrade coming for Ethereum. That might be a really big deal because it's optimizing the Ethereum blockchain and it might bring some more use to Ethereum. So we'll see. But right now the basically suppression of XRP from all this time is creating a little bit of we're kind of entering price discovery right now. I mean, this is basically the push where XRP is going to set a new all-time high. It's truly going to be in price discovery, and then you might see the SEC drop the case versus Ripple, which would be a big deal. You might see, again, U.S. partnerships tick back up. You might see more U.S. listings. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could really work in its favor. Oh, man, my voice is going bad. It's going so bad. Do I think Shiba Inu will hit a $1? Probably not anytime soon. Probably not anytime soon. That's not to be negative. Understand that I've for a long time said, and will still say, I think Shiba Inu is going to be the best performing blue chip asset in this cycle. Would not be surprised by somewhere between 3 zeros 5 through 2 zeros 1 when it's all said and done. We're a long way from there now, which is obviously huge opportunity. If it does hit, that's like almost a 50x from where we're at currently, which would be crazy. But the supply shock is going to hit in a big way there. Let's see. $2.08 would be almost a 2x for me. That's awesome. Selling at $2. That's awesome. You know what? What's up, Blup? Hope your night's going well or day is going well. I'm never gonna flag anyone for taking profit. There's nothing wrong, because if you take profit and price runs, guess what? You still made profit. Profit is profit, right? Let's see. Corvette's not $200,000, dude. I work at a Chevy dealership. I have one sitting in the showroom right now at $98,000. That's pretty well loaded up. You can get a Corvette for like 70 grand. not like a decent one LT, convertible. Like, no, you don't need to spend 100 grand. Excuse me. Ada Crow, XRP, Sui to the moon. Yeah, there's. How about Algo and Sui? Sorry if I missed it. Okay. So I haven't really made my thoughts on Sui publicly known. So, and this might be kind of an unpopular opinion. I'm not a huge. Okay. Sui has done incredibly well. It'll probably still continue to do incredibly well from a price standpoint. I'm not jumping into Sui. First of all, I don't chase things when they pump. I've done a very good job of avoiding FOMOing in, avoiding chasing green candles. It's worked out for me in the past, and it continues to work out for me in the future. And the thing with Sui is a lot of VCs. Now, granted, the unlocks for Sui, they're very, very far out. So if you guys actually go on CoinMarketCap, you guys can see this. But there is a lot of VC money in Sui. And granted, these Suis, these unlocks go all the way out to like 2070. So you're talking another 45 years down the road. So the thing is I tend to stay away from stuff with huge VCs. It's why I've stayed away from Solana. It's why I stayed away from Ton. It's why I stayed away from Sui. And right now, what Sui's got working very much in its favor is it's got a lot of buzz. It's got a lot of hype, right? Just as we saw with Caspa, just as we saw with Ton, just as we are now seeing with Sui. And we're going to see something else too. I'd love to catch whatever it is at the low and ride that all the way up. But understand that at some point, people get impatient. They get bored and they want to move on to the next thing. And we'll probably see that same thing take place once again, unless there's some huge developments that come out that I'm frankly not aware of, right? So that's kind of my thoughts there. Again, I still think it's going to do incredibly well. I've said in this market cycle, for example, something like Solana is probably going to get up to like $1,000. All right. That doesn't mean it's not centralized. That doesn't mean it doesn't have issues. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have VCs. It just means that there's enough hype to move the price, right? Oh, let's see. SHIB will hit $1 once half the supply is burned. Yeah, I mean, if you start, if SHIB goes hyper deflationary, you start seeing huge, massive amounts of supply removed from exchanges, or not from exchanges, from supply in general, and specifically a buy and burn function. Shiba Inu price could do some pretty incredible things. Did I say 202? 201. Wouldn't surprise me if SHIB gets somewhere around there this market cycle. You work at a Chevy dealership. Is it true that GMC Buick are basically just reskinned Chevys? Pretty much. There's a little bit of difference when it comes to manufacturing, but yeah, like for example, if you look at a Silverado and a Sierra, they're the same truck. 300 billion market cap for SHIB. Oh yeah. Actually, this is a great time to pull this up. I know there's someone who frequently checks out the channel. I don't think he's in the stream right now, but let me pull it up. Because this was my projections. Where is that? My projections for this market cycle and what will be at what market cap. Why can't I find it? Right there. There we go. I found it. Appreciate you guys. So this is a projection that I actually put forth all the way back at the end of 2023. It's when I first came out with this chart. And what I was talking about was Bitcoin actually getting to somewhere around this $3 to $5 trillion market cap, Ethereum at about 1.5 trillion, BNB at about 500 billion, ADA at about 500 billion, Solana at about 500 billion, SHIB between 3 to 500 billion, XRP at about 300 billion. This is looking like it might be kind of low now because currently XRP is sitting at what, 1.3? No. Wait, what am I talking about? 300 billion. Yeah, 300 billion. So, sorry, not 1.3. 144 billion. So it's already halfway there and momentum hasn't even really kicked in yet. So this could be more like somewhere up between this 500 to 1.5 billion, depending on what happens here in the US. AVAX probably needs to come off here now because buzz has died down in a big way. I still think ICP is going to make kind of a late market move. ASI, fetch, that's going to be a huge surprise this cycle. I really have a feeling that's going to be the case. But yeah, right now, some ones that are on the outside looking in. Obviously, SHIB's got to make some moves here. I think some of these US based cryptos, they like Stellar, HBAR, Algo, they might make some pretty strong pushes later on. I think even early on, I think they're going to pick up a lot of ground. And what that has to do with obviously is the new incoming administration. And frankly, where this whole thing changes, and I'm going to need to redo this chart completely, is if they do some sort of tax change where you do not see taxes on US based crypto. That is going to really be a game changer for ADA, for XLM, Stellar, HBAR, all those ones, XRP. I'm trying to hang on to my voice as long as I can, guys. So bear with me. XRP burns. Yeah, there have been some pretty sizable burns as of late. I would love if XRP would just burn their whole everything that they have in escrow, but I'm also a realist and know that that's not going to happen, but would be pretty sick. Would be pretty cool. XRP is going to be $10 by the end of the year. Yeah. You know what? That wouldn't surprise me. My projections as of late have been XRP somewhere in that like $8 to $10 range. That would make a lot of sense. But again, with more demand, partnerships, things like that, you could see it move very, very quickly. See, do I believe SNEC can make it to 50 billion? Okay, so actually the Cardano ecosystem is something that we should talk about. So there's a lot of potential in the Cardano ecosystem. Frankly, we haven't even seen the big push for Cardano yet, which is a big deal. We haven't seen stables come in. We haven't seen this settlement, becoming a smart contract layer for BTC yet. We haven't seen partner chains come online. There's what the Cardano we know right now is going to be very different than the Cardano we know 6 months from now, 8 months from now, 9 months from now, right? Later in this market cycle, you're going to have a lot of additional liquidity within the Cardano ecosystem. You're going to have more pathways to and from Cardano. It's going to be very different than what we know right now. So that's where you could see a lot of these native assets right now take off in a big way. So SNEC currently sitting at a $500 million market cap. It wouldn't surprise me if it's billions, right? I think somewhere in that like 10 billion range would be a good spot to start. But again, if you see these massive inflows of users, if Cardano becomes a huge chain for meme coins, if you start to see it, utilized by governments in a big way, like there's a lot of things that could be kind of a trigger to send Cardano into a big use era. Hopefully that makes sense. Spoonful of raw honey. I do have honey. I should get that. Oh, you said a Corvette Z06. Yeah, well, I mean, you can get Z01. Z01. What? Oh, ZL1. ZL1. Yeah, that's expensive. That's pricey. Let's see. If it hits 300 billion, I'll invite you to a barbecue. My treat. Appreciate it. And, just so you guys know, the people in my Patreon, when this market cycle is over, they are invited to a party in Vegas. So you guys should probably join, check out what's going on. We got a lot of fun things going on. That beer helping coat the throat. Yeah, I'm trying, man. Whatever I can. Pepe. Pepe is still doing very well. I don't have any Pepe. Volume is big for Pepe. It's almost double what Shiba Inu is, which has been a very good sign for it. It's had a couple nice listings. It's kind of kicked what it was originally launched as, which I won't get too much into this stream. But it's cementing itself at least in the top 5. Pudgy Penguins is kind of the big surprise. I'm still waiting for the day that Pudgy Penguins just corrects very hard. I think it did the other day, actually. I think it ran down would it drop like 30% or something? It dropped like really fast the other day. I think it was Pudgy Penguins. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't Pudgy Penguins. It was this one, AI16Z. Where was that? Yeah, somewhere in these charts, it cratered like 30. Well, yeah, there you go. 7 day down like 39%. That's what it was. 40%. All right, so let's see here. So ADA and Bitcoin price usually rise and fall together. However, today ADA seemed to continue to climb even as Bitcoin was falling. Why does ADA usually do this? So that's actually a very good question. So ADA doesn't really have the constraints of big LPs with other coins, right? So yes, there are some LPs across different chains and centralized exchanges, and so market makers are going to drag it around. But we're also seeing a little bit of this decorrelation that normally happens with ADA. And a specific part of what is making this possible is the fact that the supply of ADA on exchanges has been dwindling in a big way. And why I keep referencing this, and you guys have, I talked about this in a video today. Why I keep talking about this is this ADA just keeps getting bought and removed. So this is the weekly chart. So if we look all the way back even to, for example, the height of the bull market cycle, how many green flow weeks do you see for exchange supply? I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a baby week. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you guys get the point. Maybe like 24 weeks. 24 weeks over the course of 3.5 years. And every time we've had one of those inflow weeks, it's been tiny, right? The largest of these weeks was $10 million worth of inflows. $10 million worth of inflows. You guys get the point, right? The largest of the weeks for outflows, $147 million. So this is where this kind of cult, I keep saying cult mentality, right? Because people call, ADA holders a cult. They call SHIB holders a cult. They call the XRP army a cult. And they can call it whatever they want. But when you have a community that has this long-minded approach and they're unwilling to dump their assets for pennies on the dollar, this type of conviction is something that you normally don't see. And what it leads to is a supply shock. It leads to this accumulation and removal, and eventually that limited supply rears its ugly head and it starts impacting price in a big way. For example, if we take a look back at throughout 2024, we saw ADA do a very nice run to the upside, right? From 2023 into 2024, huge correction, consolidation, drop, right? But then even as we look at what was taking place with ADA supply during that time, we saw removal. People were building their position. So then by the time that thing started heating up, look at what ADA did. It did an even more aggressive move in a shorter period of time. And people will still sit and think that the supply shock isn't a real thing. They'll say that, oh yeah, that's not a thing. It's not going to happen. Yeah, okay. All right. Now, I haven't been doing this for 20 years or anything. I don't know what a supply shock is, right? That's always the thing that's incredibly comical to me. That people will look at this and say, no, that's a lie. Oh, that's not happening. That's not going to impact price. Okay. We'll just wait and see. And then we talk about the same thing too when it comes to something like Shiba Inu. That people will say, oh yeah, that's not a thing, right? Well, here's your exchange supply since the height of the last market cycle, and look what's happening. Dropping. It's gonna impact it. It's gonna impact it in a big way. And really what we've been waiting for across the crypto market is just excitement. We're waiting for that surge of people, which still has not hit yet. Understand that. We still have not seen, up only season, we still haven't seen this surge of new users in the space yet. And remember, you're talking about 400 million people entering the crypto market between now to the end of the market cycle. It's got to go somewhere. What are they focusing on? Well, we've looked at the metrics. Cardano search volume, incredibly high. SHIB search volume, incredibly high. XRP search volume, incredibly high. All these things are going to come to roost at some time. And you know what? That's why I'm sitting here having a drink, enjoying my time, because we know what comes next. We can't say we do because, like it says below, this isn't financial advice. There's no guarantees in crypto, but this is why we look at fundamentals. So we're prepared for when it happens. That's why occasionally I'll make the video, oh, I said this was going to happen, because we talk about it ahead of time. We're prepared. We are proactive. We are not reactive. We talk about some things after they happen, but we prepare for the moves that are coming. And hopefully that makes sense, right? This move for ADA right now, we've been talking about this the last few days, and now it's starting to happen. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Why is Charles Hoskinson so mad at the PulseChain / Hex community? I'm not sure. I don't know. I thought him and Richard actually got along pretty well. I still have my Hex. I have PLS. I have PulseX. So hoping that those things take back off. Where do I think price for ADA will be in April and May? Thanks for your channel. Appreciate it, Beefsteak. So for a long time, I've been talking about ADA being kind of in this like $3 to $4 range. It would make a lot of sense. The big bands I'm using for this, oh man, my voice is driving me nuts. Hopefully it's bearable on your end. You know, and from some of my recordings and stuff, I've gone back and listened to them. They actually sound better than what it sounds like in my head. So hopefully that's the case. But here, this is actually the trends that we've been looking at in terms of ADA price and where we could be. And the interesting thing about this is we've now kind of gotten into this lower end trend, and what that more so has to do with is less from ADA, but more from market sentiment in general, where we were more towards the top. We kind of fell into the middle. Now we're floating around the bottom here, kind of mimicking this trend. You know, when we start looking at, you know, March, April, May, all these trends converge and they're still pointing at, you know, around that $3 to $4 ADA. That would make a lot of sense. So we'll see what happens, but that's where I've said for a long time price is going to be. It's kind of funny because people will come and comment on the videos and say, oh yeah, you said that, you know, price was going to be $4, right? No, I didn't. I've been very consistent in my thoughts, and many of you have followed me on the channel here for a while and know that. Okay. What do I think about SHIB? Love SHIB. Talk about SHIB every single day here on the channel. SHIB is one of the most intriguing coins in the market for something that was launched as a meme, but wasn't launched with bad intent. Is one of the most decentralized assets in all of crypto, is deflationary, is in every single payment network, on every single exchange. It's fascinating what SHIB has been able to do. And now then you pair in the long-minded community, you pair in this removal of supply from exchanges, you pair in even what the SHIB ecosystem is doing, which again, didn't have anything to do with the Shiba Inu launch, but is bringing about this potential for SHIB becoming hyper deflationary. I mean, it's incredible what it's been able to do and what it may do in the future. You know, SHIB is my kind of, we'll call it a dark horse for this market cycle, because again, I think that SHIB is going to be the one that really melts. Maybe I'm not using that term right, but I think it's the one that's going to melt faces, especially as we get later on. So is most of the ADA traded on centralized exchanges? That's a great question. Most volume in general takes place on centralized exchanges. So yes, when we look at, for example, last 24-hour volume, you guys can see Binance, P2B, whatever that is, Coinbase, Whitebit. So pretty much all this is all centralized exchanges. And this is the case that's not even just for ADA. It's for most assets. And that's because fees ease of use on centralized exchanges is easier. It's a better point for adoption for new people coming into the market because they don't know what the hell they're doing in DeFi. And so that's where most of it tends to stay. So that's like why when I refer back to things like this removal of supply from exchanges, it's a really big deal, because when people are removing supply from exchanges, it's usually with one intent, and that is to hold it for the longer term. So RGB, appreciate your honest answers. Are you on fiber or Starlink? Looks fast. No, I am actually on DSL, believe it or not. Yep, I'm on bonded cable. Luckily, they have upgraded it in the last few years, so we can actually do streams. When I first moved to my property here, I had, what was it? It was like, I don't even think it was 15 megabits per second download, and it was like 0.5 megabits per second upload. It was terrible. I wouldn't have been able to do any of these streams. I couldn't do any gaming or anything like that. What kind of price prediction do you think for ADA if the US manages to implement tax exemption on US based cryptos? No idea. Honestly, couldn't even begin to speculate. And the reason why is it's never happened before, right? Yeah, I frankly, I have no clue. We would see a huge US boom. We would see all those US based cryptos just run absolutely wild. You would see launch of institutional products, like they'd be green lighted like right away. Yeah, it'd be a really big deal though. It'd be really fun to watch. And at that point, if that announcement is made, just pray that you have those assets in your portfolio. Just pray. Because you might be talking about moves of 100% in like a day or two. It'd be wild. It would be absolutely wild. I just got started with SHIB and I got 3 million tokens. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Anything you can have in the market at this point, I think is a great spot to be. People are saying that ADA will reach $7 this bull run. Is that possible? Yeah. Yeah. ADA, and obviously I do a lot of ADA content. ADA in this market cycle, my projection has been between $7 to $15. It would make a lot of sense. I've done a couple of videos talking about why it's in those ranges, and a lot of things are pointing towards that range right now. And in fact, some of the more recent data is pointing towards even potentially higher, somewhere in that like $9 to $17 range. But we'll see what happens. I think by the time we get to like March, April, May, it's going to be a very good gauge of where we're headed later on this market cycle. So we'll see what happens. The second world mobile becomes available in my area. I'm switching. Yeah. I mean, that'd be very, very cool. You can buy AMC movie tickets with Shiba Inu. Yeah. I think you can do online buying through Shopify. I mean, there's tons of payroll systems that like every payroll system that Shiba Inu's in. Can SHIB kill 2 zeros? Yeah, it can. It's like I've said, if we hit the peak of my projection, which was, between 5 zeros, or I'm sorry, 5 zeros, 3 zeros, 5 and 2 zeros, 1, that'd be Shiba Inu dropping off 2 zeros. That'd be about a 50x move, a little less than a 50x move from where we're at currently. But yeah, I mean, all that's possible. That's the thing right now. We haven't even started this spring move yet. So, it's kind of funny because I see all these FUD comments in the videos and people are like, oh yeah, we're about to experience a crash. It's going to be horrible and all these things. And really the only thing that I think would make us do that is if we did truly tip into a recession, or there's this huge war outbreak or something like that, right? You need something just massive, because what we've seen is this push by institutional money with this push by governments, and they're basically green lighting us right into, they're guiding us right into mass adoption. And once that begins, it's not, you can't stop it. Okay. You're not going to slow it down. Just looking to see if there's any news that we missed as of late. Let's just take a look here. Just kind of scroll down. I haven't done this before. I haven't gone through some of these news articles. This is a news site that I use quite often, cryptonews.net. You guys should check it out. There's tons of, and of course, every day I have to sort through the stuff that's good and the stuff that's crap. ADA price prediction for January 12th. 79% of ADA traders are long on Binance. That's an exciting sign. You're starting to see a lot more positive sentiment throughout the crypto market. To really say? Oh, there you go. Right here. Could soar by 25%, reaching $1.25. That's exciting, right? And actually, looking back at ADA here recently, that's about where this it's about where this descending broadening wedge actually is talking about too. Check this out. Wait, no, that's too high. Now it's an even bigger break. If this does break here, that's big. It was less before we came back down here, but yeah. Sick. That'd be pretty cool. See, and now you got to sort through some of the junk on here, of course. Let's see. Just glad to see no bots or FUD in this chat. Yeah, this is real people in the chat. I much prefer real people over arguing with bots. It gets really annoying. And if you guys haven't noticed, I try to keep my chat or my comment sections really clean. Occasionally the bots will pop up. I try to get rid of them as fast as I can. Unfortunately, there's no way to like just stop them in general unless I catch like the first one as soon as it posts. Especially those stupid like XAI spam bot crap. That stuff gets so annoying. And because you can only block the keyword on desktop computer. So if I see it on my phone and I'm like on the go, I'm kind of screwed there. So they got to figure out a better way to manage that. Oh, let's see here. What else do we got? Top 3 reasons to be bullish on Doge. Obviously, I'm not a big Dogecoin channel. What does it say here? Let's see. What's my honest opinion on PulseChain? I bought a while ago and it's done nothing, gone up a little, then just dumps. That's a good question. Actually, before we get into this article, let's talk a little bit about PLS. So this is a good question because I do actually have PulseChain. Well, not PulseChain. I have Pulse, I have PLSX, I have Hex, and yeah, it's been awfully quiet. Unfortunately, I think a lot of what is going on there has really been slowed down because of the lawsuit with Richard Hart. It's disappointing. I would like to see some moves sometime soon, as I'm sure most people would. This isn't the right chart. PLS. It's been a while since I've looked at the PulseChain chart, to be honest with you. No, that's right. This one. Maybe that's it. Yeah, it's right. Die. Yeah, it's been very, very quiet. Not a whole lot happening. Something needs to happen soon. The problem is if you get to this point where Ethereum is usable again, then you run a big risk of becoming obsolete. I don't think that's going to be the case because there's a lot of there's enough of a community within the PulseChain ecosystem that they're kind of building out their own stuff. So it's not like when Ethereum had its fork and you saw Ethereum Classic versus Ethereum. It's a completely different scenario. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, still have my PLS, still have my PLSX, still have my Hex. Top 3 reasons to be bullish on Doge. Let's see. Whale activity points to confidence in Doge. Let's see, chart shows notable accumulation by whale wallets holding between 1 million to 10 million. That's a good sign. MVRV ratio is negative. That's a good sign. And supply metrics indicate reduced selling pressure. Ooh. That's a good sign for anybody that's holding Doge. And what's up, Tyrone? Hope your night's going well. And this is kind of what we've seen across the crypto market in general. Oops, didn't mean to go full screen. So yes, we're dealing with a low volume weekend once again. Not a surprise. But what's interesting about this is we've gotten to this point where I got to talk about this in just a second. So funny. So anyways, what we're seeing is Litecoin X account was hacked. I screenshotted a funny tweet that I'll share with you guys in a second. But what we're seeing is this shift to where we have now seen this big buying take over. We've seen sellers get exhausted. There's only so many people that are willing to dump their bags. Understand that, right? We're not going to see at this point. I mean, we've seen panic. But if you guys haven't noticed, even on the last drop, it wasn't as severe as the one before. And there are people trying to make people do certain things in the market, but people are getting smarter. They have more conviction than they did before, even just weeks prior. And so what we've now done is we've gotten to this point where the accumulation, like it talks about in this title, the accumulation has begun. And what you're going to see is a lot of this capital that's sitting right here, stuck in USDT dominance, sitting on the sideline. If you start to see assets begin to run, FOMO's going to set in. You're going to see things start to take off in a big way once again. All right. So, so just to kind of get to this tweet, I got to show you this. This is so funny. I screenshotted this and sent this to my Discord. Check this out. This is so hilarious. So it's yes, my screen is cracked. I know my case is cracked, but this was from the Litecoin Twitter account. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I was like, there's no way that is real, but that was good. That was really good. I do actually have a new case coming. It's from a company called Carved. If you guys haven't checked them out, you should. Carved. Here. Yeah, check these out. So these are actually real wood cases. They're done with epoxy. I still have a 13 Pro Max, just so you guys can see. But yeah, these things are awesome. Like, I got one kind of like this, but it's actually really neat. It's red, it's yellow, and it's black. So it's actually kind of like my logo, but pretty cool stuff. Yeah, they have some really, really neat ones on here. And no, this is not a paid promotion, but check them out, guys. But yeah, I just ordered that today and I got a new screen protector for my phone. Showing you wood cases to distract you. Yep, exactly. Let's see here. Okay. I know I missed a bunch in chat. I apologize. Let's see here. So where are you going to invest in the next bear market year? Ooh, that's a good question. I hadn't given much thought to it yet. And the reason why is trends have kind of changed from last market cycle to this market cycle. Like, for example, the big thing end of last market cycle was meme coins, gaming, and gosh, I can't even remember what the last one was. But then we fast forward to the early part of this market cycle, and we've seen things change pretty significantly. We have gotten to this point now where meme coin focus is still pretty high. AI has boomed. DPIN kind of came out of nowhere. So we don't know yet. We'll have to see, obviously, where the trends shift to later on, specifically as more retail comes into the space, because that's going to be the big driving force of what we should be putting our money into heading into 2026, 27, 28, right? Hitting 102 right now. Yeah, looking good. Looking really good. XAI is from bots. Damn, I didn't know about that. Everybody's seeing comments saying about XAI. Yeah, Fernando, those are bot comments. I try to delete them as soon as I see them. Sometimes they build up. They have like these complex scripts that run that just post all these comments like back to back to back to back to back. Like, if you haven't noticed, like, all those comments, like hundreds of them, are posted within like a couple minutes of each other. So all right, let's see. What else do we got? Can I share my positions? I can tell you what stuff I'm in. I kind of reserve what percentages and stuff I'm in for my Patreon. Got to keep some things secret, right? But I do have ADA, I have SHIB, I have Fetch, XRP, Render, TARS, Brett, PLSX, Pulse. I have Hex. I have, what else do I have? So many things. Gaspa, ICP, Injective. I'm really well diversified this cycle. I have a lot of different stuff. I'm still looking for a few more too. Specifically some low caps. Let's see. Are there any trading platforms that are less expensive to trade on than Robinhood? I personally haven't used Robinhood, so I can't tell whether Robinhood is the cheapest, and I'm not sure if their market makers keep asset prices close enough to where there's no what's it called, arbitrage between the two. But I mean, some of it has to do with trading volume too. Like, some platforms, if you trade enough, you can basically get super, super low fees. I've done that with Coinbase Pro back in the last bull market cycle. I mean, I think I had 1 month that was like $30 million in trading volume. And so I had like no maker fees, which was pretty cool. But most of the exchanges tend to be pretty consistent. And if there's any exchanges like Kraken or Coinbase, use the pro versions of them. Don't use the dummy versions. And I don't tend to be, mean by saying the dummy versions, but the less technical versions, they have higher fees. All right. Just as kind of an FYI. Let's see. It'd be funny if he had like 20K ADA, but made a whole channel on it. Well, some stuff I don't have like a crazy amount. Oh, ADA jumped to $1.03. Nice. There's some stuff I don't have like a huge portfolio on, but let's see. Thanks for all your daily content. I hold SHIB, ADA, and XRP. Do you scout any pre-sale coins like Cadzilla, PulseChain? And if so, do you have any opinions on them? Yeah, it kind of depends. The pre-sales I'm a little bit more particular on. I dive like deep into social media, all the different facets of it, just to see if there's any like red flags for me, because pre-sales can be really good, can be really bad. I've had some ones that have sucked. I've had some ones that have actually done well. So it's kind of hit or miss. You have to really dive into like the teams and stuff behind them. Have they launched projects before? That's usually a really good indicator of what you might be able to do. Not financial advice, but the phone case could go up or down. The thing with phone cases is they usually tend to go down right to the ground, and they tend to crack. I'm sure everybody has dealt with that before. Let's see. What percentage dominance would you say is ideal for Altseason? So there's a big misconception, and that is that, where is that? So that is that we're not in Altseason, but we are. All right. So we've gotten to this point where BTC dominance has dropped. It's setting lower highs. So we're amidst the BTC dominance drop. But where people get confused is that they think that Altseason means just up only, that it means that everything is just sending nonstop. And that's not necessarily the case, right? So we see this kind of drop and consolidation period every single cycle. So for example, we take a look back at last market cycle, we saw the initial BTC dominance drop, which was our indication of Altseason beginning. If you guys remember, it began January 1. And then we got choppy. We got basically choppy until like the end of March, until we really saw a big drop off. And really, even looking back at cycles prior, did the exact same thing, right? Drop, chop, and then the extension down. So right now we're basically just in that chop. It's a goofy looking chop. And the reason why is because we've gotten some negative things taking place during this time. There's been some things that have shot, BTC dominance up, that have scared some of the retail holders. And then, we're kind of settling into these ranges right here, but we're in alt season right now. We just haven't seen up only season yet, which is basically starts anytime. All you need is the right sentiment. You need adoption, because remember, retail is the big driver of altcoins. And so you need retail to come back is what you need. Alejandro, thanks for your daily content on ADA. I've been holding for 4 years, and honestly, your videos have stopped me from selling on multiple occasions throughout the years. Hey, appreciate the support. And again, I never try to influence people on what to do, but what I want to say is that, I just want to make sure that people have the right information so they can make an educated decision on what to do with their money. Because the crypto market, it's very easy because of the volatility to freak out and think about dumping your asset and just saying, oh, screw it. It's just going to tank back. Right. Like for example, here, ADA dropped 42%. And for the normal person, that's going to be like, oh crap, I gotta, dump my position. This is bad. It's just going to continue to fall. And then since that time, even right now at the time of filming this video, ADA is currently up 35%. So the point I want to make is that the charts can be very misleading. And I didn't really notice a ton of people out there diving into the fundamentals and the basically the moves behind the moves. And so I wanted to give people that information and highlight it in a way that people can understand. And hopefully I've done a good job over time of explaining that for people. Let's see. So could I touch on the relationship between ADA and the native assets on ADA? I'm struggling to understand the correlation. Ooh, good question. So, all right. So these do have different price ratings on here, but what this more so is it's more so ratio trading than anything. Not kind of. And while I'll say kind of is because there are stables within Cardano. There is, pairings with stable coins within the Cardano ecosystem. But what you're mostly trading on is how these assets are moving versus the price of ADA. Okay. So for example, when you see something like this, where this price has gone up 1% or 1.9% over the last hour, this somewhat may have to do with the price of ADA, but can also be the asset outpacing the move by ADA, the move that ADA makes as well. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of goofy, and ratio trading gets kind of wild. And eventually you're going to see most of these pairings shift to a stable, a primary stable pairing. So when we get, USDC, USDT, RLUSD, USDM, whatever, USDA, whatever it may be, then you're going to see a lot of these asset pairs shift, and they're actually going to become more stable over time. So that's actually a good thing. But that's what you're basically seeing is somewhat ratio trading between the two of them. Ryan Marcus, love your content. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support. My voice is just barely hanging in there, guys. Eyeing any Cardano native tokens for small caps? Yeah, I mean, there's honestly a lot of good projects within Cardano. I mean, obviously some of them have gone multi-chain, like Kopi, for example, has gone multi-chain. World Mobile Token has gone multi-chain. I like some of the some people keep asking me about AI projects on Cardano. I like IAG Cloud Services. I haven't dove like a ton into the AI projects on Cardano, but if AI is the narrative and Cardano hasn't been tapped in a big way yet, probably some of the stuff to pay attention to there. AI and DPIN. Those are a couple of the big ones. Memecoins, yes, of course, but then obviously AGIX, Fetch, I'm surprised this is even still listed on here. How much liquidity? $1.6 million of liquidity. Interesting. Interesting. That's kind of weird. Oh, that's right. I lost the chat. There we go. Let's see. Do I think it's a good idea to buy more ADA right now? I don't like to buy when candles are green. I don't like to buy on pumps. I mean, we're getting, honestly, like me personally, if I was buying and I was watching this trend take place, the second we got down to here, this is where I would have been buying. And in fact, I tried to open an ADA long on here, and I was having some problems because I was driving, and yeah, I couldn't get it done. I was very disappointed. But yeah, usually when you're either at like the bottom of trends or for example, like the indicator gives you some good opportunities to accumulate, that's maybe not the best time to, or maybe the best time to buy. Like for example, even look at this, guys. So my indicator, which if you guys want to check that out, links in the description below. I think there's a 7-day free trial on it. I keep forgetting to talk about it, but for example, on the 4-hour chart, big buy zone right down at the bottom here, right at the touch on this trend. That's a big deal. So me personally, I just, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. One, it doesn't hurt to be too diverse. Well, it doesn't hurt to be diversified, and some of the best performers in this market haven't even launched yet. Just something to think about. If you got a comfortable position right now, understand that there are other opportunities out there. I went through last market cycle with a very singular coin focus, and I think that kind of limited me. And now I'm taking this approach, a very different approach heading into this market cycle. I'm very diversified. I have a lot of different assets. Let's see. Have I ever looked into Solnick? No, I have not. Cardano is crazy right now. Yeah, it's running hot. Can't wait to see if Trump follows through with what he said about tax-free American crypto. Yeah, that would be a big deal. What signals are you looking for in the charts that'll let you know if it's time to get out? That's really a good question. So for example, if we look at some of these prior tops here, if we look at, for example, the MACD is a really good thing to follow, especially as we start approaching some of these aggressive tops. You'll notice that the MACD line starts to flip towards the signal line. And for example, this even took place when BTC was at 62K right before it started dropping down. So that maybe be something I'd be watching here. Now, obviously right now, BTC is kind of doing something a little similar here, but obviously we're pretty early on, and this is the weekly chart, so it can take a long time for this to signify. For example, when this started happening in terms of BTC last market cycle, it was all the way early on in March, and it didn't officially cross until the middle of April. Okay. Now, again, that's BTC in general. And in fact, one thing we haven't really looked at here is the total two. So this is all alts outside of BTC. And so we can see, for example, a very similar thing last market cycle taking place here, but we're not even extended all the way up there yet. I mean, we're just really getting started here. But similar thing right about May is about when that peak happened. We're still not even setting a higher high here yet. So there's still a long way to go in this. I mean, there are signs. There's a lot of different things you got to watch. You got to watch this. You have to watch momentum. USDT dominance is a big thing too. So we'll go through these ebbs and flows in terms of USDT dominance. And right now we haven't even made this next big extension down yet, similar to what we did last market cycle, 2021, right here. So this is the big drop we're waiting for. And you can kind of see consolidation right around here from basically January through April. And what we were seeing at that time was the overall market cap of alts on the rise, but USDT dominance staying sideways. And what that has to do with is that we actually had new capital flowing into the space while we were seeing capital flow into assets. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'd watch that. I'd watch BTC dominance. BTC dominance should drop off again pretty significantly. For example, it wasn't until May of 2021 till BTC dominance even had a bounce once we got into up only season. And what's interesting here is I'll be curious to see if BTC dominance does what it did from last cycle to this cycle. So for example, you guys can see that, it actually kind of floored right around like 39% after setting in a pretty deep low all the way back in 2018. So it's tough to say where this is going to stop right here, right? If we keep the same ratio, we may drop until only about like 42, 43%. So that may be the target there. It may be slightly lower with mass adoption because again, retail dominates altcoins. So it's more of an analysis we're going to have to make as we get into like March, April, May. Again, that's really what I'd be focusing on. But, for example, going back to that total two and watching, it's kind of goofy that we did this all the way back in April of 2024. Huh. Interesting. I'd have to zoom way in on this to see what it looked like all the way back here. I don't think they tracked it back in like 2015, 2016. Oh, let's see here. Let's see, one farm owner to another. Yep. What are you doing? No. No. Nope.
I need it real quick.
Nope.
It's gonna be real quick.
Nope. I'm on a stream.
Hi everybody.
Oh my God. Of course I'm not giving you my phone. Okay, guys. Go.
Please, can I have a phone?
Nope. Go. Shoot. Love you guys.
I need it real quick. I just need it real quick.
Just go on.
I need to see something.
Go on.
Was there a dinosaur?
I actually don't know why there's a dinosaur. Okay, guys, go. I'll be done in a couple minutes, okay? Love you guys. Good night. Oh, boy. Why is there a dinosaur on here? That is the real question. Okay, so let's see. Maybe you've already explained. That's a couple of my kids, by the way. All right. Maybe you've already explained it, but is there a specific reason why you think the price of altcoins, especially Cardano, is rising to so much this Saturday? It's not very common for us to see this happen on the weekend. Yeah, as you guys can tell, my voice is fading. So I did talk about this already, but basically what we're seeing is, again, these people that were willing to sell have sold. And we're starting to see that accumulation start impacting the market in a bigger way. So this, although it is a low volume weekend, it's kind of consistent with what we've been seeing from weekend to weekend. It's a weekend of buying, a weekend of accumulation. And that might be a really good sign as we get into the week. I think the biggest thing that we really need to watch heading into next week is if we end up getting a CME gap. And if we don't get a CME gap, that's going to be a really big deal. So you guys can see BTC close this Friday candle at 95,210. And right now BTC is at 94.4. So we're in actually a really good spot. If Sunday stays kind of on the same note, we might have a really good week ahead. Okay. Let's see. It's trying to ask a question, but it won't send because it's 162 characters long. Is there any way to ask a longer question? Try just putting it in 2 comments. I'm familiar with that M. Going to be a slight downtrend. Yeah. Well, and remember, MACD is about momentum. So looking back at this, right? This all has to do with momentum. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's like a drop per se. But you can see momentum slow while the charts get flat. Like even right now, and again, this is weekly too. Like for example, look at the daily. We're seeing MACD slow down and drop here, while price or total market cap of alts has been just sideways, right? So that's watch for that flip. That flip can be a little bit of a consolidation move. What's my price prediction for Shiba Inu by the end of this month? Ooh, that's a good one. Let's see. Okay, so Shiba Inu by the end of this month. What do we got going on here? So biggest thing, again, we got to watch for, just know, obviously, right shoulder here. We don't want to see a rejection because then we might get a little bit of a downward test right here later in January before trying to make our rebound back up. And if SHIB can flip these, do a little bit of look here. Oops. Let's look at where SHIB is headed. This weekly candle's gross, by the way. And understand that SHIB is still bullish, guys. We are still actually in an uptrend. We're right at our 20-week moving average, our bull market support. So we're looking pretty good here. By the end of this month, you might actually see Shiba Inu testing this 4033. It would not surprise me at all. In fact, looking back, let's take a look at that trend once again here. So January 30th shows us somewhere around this 4028 range. And frankly, above here, there's not much liquidity in this box, this one right here. And once SHIB does, in fact, breach this box, it's a very quick ride up to 4045. So at least 4028 would make sense as long as we're continuing on a bullish trend in the market. So we'll have to be patient and see if we continue on a bullish trend in the market. Spot ETF will send this. Oh yeah. What do I think about Floki? I do like Floki. I do own Floki. I'm disappointed in Floki, but it's not a Floki specific thing. What it more so has to do with is memes in general. And memes in general have frankly kind of have not been great. And the big reason why is that we haven't had good enough sentiment in the market. So meme coins are very heavily driven by retail. And if retail is not happy, meme coins are not happy. And while we've had a couple spurts as of late of excitement, we've also got met with some like negative events in the market, whether that be negative macro news, whether that be miner selling, whether that be distributions from Mt. God, whatever it may be, right? We have not seen a true meme season since early in 2024. And that has kind of brutalized meme coins. It's a reason why, for example, Floki and most others are about at the same price they were right kind of in that like April range, right before they tried to make their next extension into the summer. So we're kind of in a boring spot. Now, that being said, we can see that Floki and many of these others, they are in fact in an uptrend. They're building momentum, they're building strength. And although it seems super boring and it takes forever, understand that the more sustainable these moves are, the better floor you have for the next pop. So we're seeing this for Floki, we're seeing this for Shib, we're seeing this for Pepe, we're seeing this for a lot of assets right now. A couple more because the voice is almost gone. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. Dinosaur is the past history that you have to pay for if you are using a lower chart. What? No way. I'm going to click it. This is the very beginning. You made your way. That's all I'll do. You've made your way through all available data. We hope it was very useful. We're always focused on providing you with the most complete data. Liar. All right. Any thoughts on the Doge and Rexus coin pre-sales? Rexus is a scam, 100%. I've seen that plugged into so many articles. It's yeah. That one, same thing with what's that other one? Gosh, that big like $35 million pre-sale. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up just so people know what it is. Huge crypto pre-sale. It's definitely gonna be on here. It's definitely gonna be on here. Let's see. I keep seeing it talked about. They're selling like mining equipment and like all this crap, and it's like there's no way. Crap, I gotta find this. You guys need to know about this one. Let me know if you know what it is. Block tag, that one right there. Don't do it. And this isn't to talk bad about him or anything like that, but here's the thing: you can have too big of a pre-sale. Again, I don't know if it's legit or if it's not, but there's no room for growth. There's no room for growth. That's definitely not going into the LP, because if that goes into the LP, you're talking about a plus $1 billion market cap at launch, and nobody's going to buy that. So just a thought there. Let's see. Oh, anyone? Oh, VeChain. I haven't talked about VeChain in a while. VeChain's been really quiet. Really, really quiet. Gosh, yeah, I haven't seen much about VeChain in a really long time. It's quiet like pretty much everything else in the market. This market cycle has been so disappointing so far. Not really, but I think we're all ready for up only season. Let's see here. Seems to be fluctuating between the 91K to 100K range, with YouTubers suggesting the bears are playing games and going to drive BTC down to 70 to 80K. Therefore, dragging the feet to the rest of crypto with it to wipe out all the long leverage traders and trades, and leverage trading should be avoided. What are your thoughts? And do you think it's safe to open a SHIB BTCC leverage trade? Good question. Okay, so actually, that's one thing we didn't get into in this video was Bitcoin leverage. Oops. So Bitcoin liquidation heat map. So yeah, there's a lot of manipulation going on as of late. And as you guys know, we've dealt with a lot of leverage. In fact, we look at BTC over the last 24 hours, you guys can see we're kind of in this tight band of this tight liquidity band again. So what we have is actually long leverage down here at about 93.6 and short leverage up here at about 95K. And market makers at some point, once again, they're going to make a move to try to liquidate one side or the other. And we have seen this time and time again, right? We actually saw this all the way back here on January 6th through January 7th, which we got pushed to the downside. And you guys can see that we had to cut through a lot of this long leverage on the way down. And now we've worked into a little bit of that short leverage to the upside, but there's still a lot of short leverage up here. Now, someone did tell me like, oh yeah, you should zoom out and look at all the long leverage. And yeah, no, I get it. There's definitely long leverage to the downside. There's short leverage to the upside. But the big thing I keep pointing back to in terms of BTC is that when we look at our bull market support band, which is all the way approaching very, very quickly into this green box here, you guys can see that it currently sits at about 84K. All right. Now, the interesting thing about this bull market support band is outside of black swan events, BTC has never closed a weekly candle below this 20-week moving average during a bull market cycle. This never happened. Okay. So during the summer, yes, we had some weekly closes below here. Well, we dealt with German government selling, Mt. Gox news. We had the bad, what was it in August? There was something, I'm trying to remember what it was. Basically, we had a couple selling events. We had Mt. Gox distributions. We had minor capitulation. We had bad macro news. We had wars brewing abroad. We had obviously Israel-Iran conflict. We had all these different things that actually caused multiple black swan events, which is why the summer sucked as much as it did. It probably would have been a lot better. But now we're back in this point where everything's kind of quiet, right? And so now this 20-week moving average is approaching very quickly. And again, we're going to get into this point where, historically speaking, outside of the start of bear markets and outside of black swan events, you don't see BTC fall and close candles below here. So this narrative that we're going to fall like 70 to 80K, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It doesn't fit the macro. And now you're dealing with something completely different. Institutional money. Institutional money has been accumulating. And even though as of late, they've had a few days where they're kind of playing games. Like, for example, yesterday, $149 million worth of BTC unloaded. This still doesn't fit with what they've been doing on a longer scale, right? And if you look at the cumulative net flow, look at what's happened here. $37 billion added by BlackRock. $12 billion added by Fidelity. Although Grayscale dumped $21 billion, it's been absorbed, and we're just getting started. So, people trying to basically fearmonger and try to spread this, thoughts of drop in the market, I frankly don't buy it. People that are willing to unload, they've unloaded. They've been shaken out of the market on the last 40% drop that we had. And so there's really, I don't want to say there's only one way to go from here, but there's one way to go from here. And that's up. That doesn't mean it's going to be straight up and to the right. With assets, you may see us kind of chop around before we make our move, but people are much more resilient and much more long-minded than I think what some of those people are giving them credit for. All right. And so I do think we get some sort of BTC retracement as we get into the summer, but we're still months away from that. Any news on the XRP NFT? No, I actually haven't heard of that. All right. Oh, the dinosaurs because of the beginning of the chart. It's the prehistoric history before. I love it. Let's see. When do you think we'll be getting an extension for this? All right. A couple more here, guys, because my throat's about to die. When do you think we will be getting this large extension for all-time high for meme coins? That's actually a really good question. Again, the big thing that we need for meme coins is really retail excitement. We need the FOMO. We need those Google searches to start working their way back up. We need the capital that's sitting on the sidelines to start to re-enter the space, because FOMO is what causes us to make new highs. Okay. And the good news is that we're on the verge of FOMO. In fact, when we look at let's see here. We need to look at the total 3. We look at the total 3. So this is all market caps outside of BTC and Ethereum. We did set a new all-time high, but we're waiting for basically this next extension. And what's interesting about this is about when assets start making new all-time highs. And you guys can see that, right around January of 2021, we hadn't had that emerge quite yet. And it's not surprising that we were a little bit higher this time because there was a little bit more excitement around the crypto market. We had that surge of new capital back in March, which caused us to be a little bit higher than normal. That was obviously because of BTC. But basically what we're in right now is this consolidation right here. We're in this spot right before we make this next big run. And this is basically this, what was that at the time? That was a 420% move to the upside for all altcoins outside of obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum. That is the leg that you make your all-time highs in. So that is when I would expect that to happen. By that point, it happened by May. So I'm thinking again, March, April, May is that time where you should see these things take place. Hopefully that makes sense. Got a nice bag of ADA and thinking about grabbing some vet. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to be diversified. The blockchain space is wide open right now. Nobody's grabbed it and run with it yet. Would you hold an ADA long position that's up 1900% with a liquidation price at 45? Me personally, yes. That's a completely different story. I've had some huge positions. Well, not huge positions. I had some positions open like 2,000, 3,000% that had liquidation prices of like 30 cents. And yeah, I kept them open. The only reason I moved them is because I moved to another platform. So 565 trillion SHIB tokens are held by only 5 whale wallets. What does this mean for SHIB price and how does this affect its future? Nothing. So I actually talked about this in a video. Oh no. I have nothing to wet my whistle. So I talked about this in a video the other day. So those are actually FUD articles and that's not actually true. Wow. I can actually search Shiba Inu. So what they're actually referring to is just some of the top holders here, which the first one, which is 41%, that is actually the burn wallet. That is a dead end wallet. Nobody has access to it. So means nothing. Even the next top, we'll say 9 wallets, exchange. This is an exchange as well. This is an exchange that just had that 33 trillion Shiba Inu moved. It sounds like they did some shuffling. Exchange. This is an exchange wallet as well. That's an exchange wallet as well. This one may be a whale wallet, but exchange, contract, and then these are wallets that basically have 5 trillion Shiba Inu that haven't moved Shiba Inu since its inception. So, but then you have exchange. So no, they're FUD articles. Shiba Inu is actually one of the most decentralized assets in all of crypto. So I don't buy that narrative. All right, let's see. Massive inverse head and shoulders on the XLM chart. Let me just take a look at that quick. Oh yeah, that's yeah, it's kind of wonky. Looks good though. Yeah, that's good. That's a good chart. There. Boop, boop, boop. Neckline. Look at that. Pew. You guys like my sound effects? Pew. Yeah, XLM's looking good. I mean, all these US based cryptos, it looks like they're about to really take off. And what's interesting is that XLM has not really done much in the last like couple days here. I mean, actually yesterday was pretty, to be fair, the last 2 days have been good. Like 13% across those days. Right now, that's the narrative to have. The king. Hey, Lux, I've been following you since day one. Oh, I know you have. You've been here since day one. I see you all the time on the channel. Appreciate the support. And you obviously know how much the content has changed over time too. Any thoughts on Dog to the moon? Number 1 meme coin on BTC? Yeah. You know, if you're the baby, if you're the meme coin of a blockchain, that's a pretty big deal. That's why, you know, for example, Doge, obviously because Dogecoin is a blockchain. If you're SHIB, ERC20, if you're see what else, you know, with Bonk, there's questions there. Solana, if you are Brett on Base, if you are Dog on Bitcoin, you're in a pretty good spot to do pretty well in this market cycle. Everyone hit that like button. Yeah, make sure you hit that like. All right, what's up? Ooh. Jake, bro, hairline is a bell curve. Ooh, love it. Love the insult, bro. Appreciate it. You're going to get drunk trying to clear your throat. No, I mean my throat's clear, but I've been losing my voice the last couple days. So I yeah. Let's see. So Sui is going to do good as well. Yeah, I agree. Sui's a hot narrative right now. Big trading volume. It's surging. It's, you know, it's climbing the charts right now. Again, it's doing exactly what Toncoin did. So that's maybe what I would watch out for. And what I mean by that is, remember how hot Toncoin was, and everybody talked about Ton, and Ton's the greatest thing, and Ton's going to become the next big blockchain, blah, blah, blah. How much do we hear about Toncoin now? Nothing. $144 million in daily trading volume. Doesn't mean it's bad, just it's hot right now. So that's something to pay attention to. Let's see what my opinion about XDC. All right. Ooh. I feel like somebody else asked me about XDC a while ago. Jeez, look at that chart though. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom on in, shall we? Oh, I don't know why I went to that one. All right. Any last questions while I'm diving into this one? Because again, my throat is killing me. Yeah, it's running hot right now. It's trading volume 56 million to 1.5 billion. Yeah. That's not bad. That's the right ratio that you want to see. It's number number 60. Oh, it's number 69, everyone. Maybe it's the chosen one. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. Again, you know, right now it's gearing up for this kind of launch towards an all-time high, just like everything else. And that we're going to enter price discovery. It's less than a 2x away. That's a good sign. It's above all its moving averages. Positive sign on the RSI, positive on the MACD. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Can't say I know enough about the network, but let's see. Honey and T, my G, the only guy that actually does the analysis on cryptos, love the live streams. Appreciate the support, man. I do have some honey. I gotta go have some. Let's see here. 2025 ADA price prediction. Still in that $7 to $15 range. Some things are pointing towards like that $9 to $17 range. It would make a lot of sense. But we'll see what happens. Again, the biggest gauge for all these prices, we're kind of in like this weird crap time, we'll call it, because we obviously had the November pump, we had the December cool down, January's been kind of meh, but getting a little better. And basically March, April, May is when we should see kind of this next top peak out, right? So once we get to that point, we'll have a really good idea of what the later part of the year is going to look like, and we'll have a good idea of how fast adoption is going to happen too. But what do I think about Bone? I think that the ecosystem just needs to keep chugging along. It needs to really get back on track with SHIB becoming hyper deflationary. They need to keep marketing the way that they are, all that stuff. Let's see, all-time highs mid 2025. Then recession in the third quarter brings back down. I think that if we do hit a recession, I don't think it's till Q1 of 2026. I think that they can push things just late enough for us to get a full market cycle in. But you know, it's tough to say. It's tough to say, really. And yes, I'm going to glance over that just because you know we don't know what things are going to look like 6 months down the road yet. We got our Q1, Q4 GDP coming right at the end of this month. That's something to watch really closely. But SHIB down 8 up. SHIB's actually up right now. So yesterday's candle was a green close. We started obviously a red candle right now, but again, that's because meme coins aren't running super hot quite yet. But so yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. My throat's killing me. I'm gonna have some honey because of the suggestions of people. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you tuning into the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys obviously check into the content tomorrow. Hopefully the voice is better by then. It usually is. But yeah, obviously let me know if you guys have more questions. I'm excited about what's coming. I love that the market's starting to heat up a little bit. And if this momentum carries into the early part of the week and BTC stays flat, that could be actually a really good sign for an explosive week ahead. So I appreciate you guys. Have a great night. Enjoy your time.